And we are late to the party, back from the dead almost. It was touch and go there for a while. We took the last 3 weeks off. I was in the hospital, and now that I'm back and recuperated a little bit, a new trailer has dropped for Kraven the Hunter, which I'm not that excited for. I mean, we didn't watch Morbius, but we did watch the trailers, and yeah, there was the Carnage movie, or Venom 2, and now Kraven. Like, I don't know. I want Spider-Man, but, you know, they're still doing that thing where they're making the villain movies.
Yeah, it's because, you know, Sony's like, well, we have the rights to these characters and we need to be using them. And right now, I guess it doesn't make sense to fit them into a Spider-Man story yet. So, sure, why not give them their own movies? I mean, Venom, and then Morbius, and then now Kraven.
And I see the reasoning behind it. It makes sense. You want to give a little bit of character, a little bit more backstory to those villains before you incorporate them into a Spider-Man movie, if you're ever going to incorporate them into a Spider-Man movie. Because right now it feels like that isn't going to happen. So the villains are just kind of running amok and doing their own thing. And if they're not successful, you know, Morbin Time really didn't show up when it came to the box office. So I don't know how Kraven's going to do.
True. And then if they were to bring like, if it incorporated into like a Spider-Man movie, they should do it with the Amazing Spider-Man and bring Andrew Garfield back. Give him a third movie.
I agree. I do think that that's where it should have been incorporated, but I don't think that's going to happen. It's just looking like it's not going to happen. So who knows what Sony is planning, but we do know that they are planning to go balls to the wall with Kraven the Hunter. Rated R. Carnage Venom movie should have been rated R. At least they got one F-bomb. But yeah, I feel like, you know, Kraven, yeah, it does lend itself to a rated R story, but so do some of the other villains like, you know, Carnage. But I'm excited to see what Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to do, because he was awesome as Kick-Ass. I liked him as Pietro, even though the other
for
Pietro.
The very short amount of time that we had.
I think that he did good with Elizabeth Olsen, you know, and they played together with the Godzilla movie too. So seeing him take on another villain, but, you know, this time a villain in the forefront that I am only aware of through the comics as well as the animated series that I used to watch back in the day. So I'm excited to see what they could do with it, but I'm not holding my breath. But let's get into the official Red Band trailer for Kraven the Hunter now. He's got the senses.
Yes.
Never show mercy. They are prey. We are predators.
Huh.
Okay.
I didn't know Russell Crowe was in this.
Yeah.
Boys, your mother is dead.
She died because you sent her away.
She was weak, sick in her mind. You know my business, yes? Power is about strength. If you show weakness, you will give our enemies an opening.
It's a beefy boy.
Shoot.
And they will become one.
Damn.
He is weak, like his mother. Leave him.
Damn, dude.
What happened that day?
I stared death in the face, and for the first time, I saw my true self.
Tell me about this hunter.
They say he uses a connection with animals to track his prey.
Dangerous.
And once you're on his list,
you're on the
there's
list.
only one way off.
There's 6 of us, and only one of you.
There's 6 of you now.
Damn. Oh,
God damn.
Why do you hunt?
My father puts evil into the world.
2 for 1.
I take it out.
Okay.
Oh, with the trap.
Honor. You are exactly like our father.
just another man hunting for a trophy.
Murderers. Isn't that what he taught us?
You don't get to do that to me anymore.
Just spiders.
Spiders, yeah.
Mr. Teglin? Mr. Teglin?
Nope.
Where's Mr. Teglin?
Oh, you're standing in him.
Oh, damn.
You're a goddamn lunatic.
Oh, you just figured that out now?
Nice. Damn. Always seen. Brutal.
There is an animal in each one of us.
Don't you want to know why they call me the Rhino?
Oh,
The
jeez.
rhino, huh? Oh, boy.
Interesting. So Pollux Troy is going to be the Rhino, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it's got the action, it's got the gore. Aaron Taylor Johnson, visceral and animalistic, going after the bad guys. But again, he's a bad guy,
Yeah,
so
he's also a villain. But I feel like that's kind of like their thing, what they're trying to do with these villains, give them more of like a sympathy side to them, so you can kind of see where they're coming from. Just like it said, you know, here villains aren't born, they're made. So I guess this is gonna become a villain eventually.
I mean, that stands for the heroes too. Majority of the heroes are
That's true.
made, with the exception of the mutants. So,
Yeah.
you know, 9 times out of 10, they're getting bitten by a radioactive spider, or, you know, given some sort of serum to power them up into a superhero. So,
That's true.
yeah, I mean, everybody comes across something to make them good or bad. So, I had no clue Rhino was going to be in this.
Yeah.
I had no clue Alessandro Nivola was going to be playing Rhino. So if you saw Face Off, you know Alessandro Nivola plays Pollux Troy, Castor Troy's little brother, and he was in Jurassic Park 3. He was in a whole bunch of different movies, and he's a great actor. But right there, that tells me not connected to the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
Right, because there was already a Rhino there, which makes me kind of sad because I feel like they hit. I don't know, like Andrew Garfield would
work
for this, but
I mean, especially when you...
I mean, granted, they could always go back and be like, no, I'm the real Rhino. That was just, you know, somebody...
that's true.
Mechanically using, you know, the Rhino name, but...
Yeah. And this one's going to be a little bit more of a transformation Rhino versus the, you know, mechanical one that we did end up seeing in the Amazing Spider-Man. Which
for a brief moment,
which fits with Lizard as well, because Lizard ended up transforming. Dr. Connors transformed into a lizard, so it does kind of feel like it would lend itself to the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. But again, right there, it shows that they're going a little bit different with it. I do like that it's Kraven versus Rhino, though, just because of the animal side of things.
Animalistic. Yeah, I get it.
It fits, it works, but the thing is, though, it's really going to kind of, you know, hurt the villains if they're all if we're all incredibly sympathetic to them as heroes of their movies, even though they're supposed to be villains. It's different than when you make a sympathetic villain within a movie where they're still playing the villain, where it's like, oh, I could kind of see where you're coming from, but you're still the bad guy and you're doing really bad things.
Yeah, you're doing it in a bad way.
Sure. So, and if they can hang on to that in this movie, which I doubt because he's the protagonist, no matter what they say, I mean, he's obviously going after bad people.
Yeah.
And it just depends if he starts going after the good guys or if it's just like, oh, I'm going to hunt the greatest enemy there is or the best thing you could hunt, which is Spider-Man. Then it's like, okay, well, that's not really that much of a motive for you to go after Spider-Man. So I feel like they're not even going to bring up Spider-Man. I feel like they do have that scene in the trailer where there's a bunch of spiders around him.
It's just maybe just a nod.
Sure. Yeah. And more than likely that's all it's going to be,
Yeah.
but which is a shame, man, because it's such a chock full cinematic universe, or at least it's a chock full comic book universe in the Marvel world that they could bring into a cinematic universe,
right?
That they just haven't figured out how to crack just yet.
True, because you know Spider-Man's rogue gallery is very colorful with different villains.
Sure.
So there is stories to be told there, but you do want the Spider-Man to be a part of that as well.
And I don't know how I feel in the sense that it doesn't make me want to run to the theaters to watch it.
Yeah.
Just like Morbius, we still have
Yeah,
yet
we
to
still haven't
watch
seen
Morbius, and that was just partly because after the trailers and just
and
word
everything
of
that
mouth
went down, and then the thing they're like, oh, it's not part of it, but then
Yeah.
they had Michael Keaton a part of it, and it was just kind of a mess.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know. It's just not thought out when it comes to the inclusion of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can do it without Spider-Man, but at the same time, why? These are Spider-Man villains, so that should be, you know, the end goal there is to connect them to Spider-Man. It just doesn't seem like that's something that they're interested in.
Yeah.
Partly because they don't want to mess up or tarnish the Spider-Man brand,
I guess.
which is already done pretty good so far with, you know, Tom Holland and what we've had before. But
And then Across the Spider-Verse, which we still haven't seen yet.
yeah, and we're saving the Across the Spider-Verse for a reaction, so that's going to be fun when that eventually comes out, and you can watch us react to it. But what did you guys think of the Red Band trailer for Kraven the Hunter? Let us know in the comments below. You can also like and subscribe.
And did a thing on our Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Discord.
All the social networking gin joints, you know where they are. Kick into the party, fuel the party, keep the party going on our Patreon. What's your favorite Spider-Man villain out of all of them? Tell us down in the comments below. Thanks so much, and as always,
Now it's time to say goodbye.
this party is over. Bye.